With the Doran sisters as bookends, tonight's finalists have 43 PWBA titles among them and feature two players who have won the Player of the Year honor twice. The action heats up as ESPN presents the Triton TKO Open next. To Rockford, Ohio, just outside of Toledo, at the interstate lane for the Triton TKO Open. Hello, everyone. I'm Leandra Riley, and I do not envy the Doran household this evening. I'm sure Mr. and Mrs. Doran have tossed a coin to decide which parent is going to cheer for which daughter. Joining me now in this telecast, as she does every week, is our own Jan Schmidt. And Jan, let's talk about the first half of that bookend, Kathy Doran. Now, this is the 5th time she's finished in the top 10. But she hasn't won a national title yet.
No, but she's having a great year. And Kathy works very hard on her game. One of the big changes for her was a grip change at the end of last year. It was huge. As she put it, it gave her a career. Now, she also has a new outlook on her bowling and a new mental attitude. We'll hear from her about that later.
The number 4 qualifier is Jackie Mickiewicz. Her last title was in 1996. But during the little hiatus between the summer swing and the fall tour, Jackie and a handful of other women bowlers went ahead and won the World Team Challenge. Quite an accomplishment.
It was, and she also won a regional in Van Wert, Ohio. And Jackie's a field-type player. She struggles with her timing, and that affects her confidence. I think the success over the last couple of weeks has really helped her this week, and it'll give her something to draw from tonight.
All right, the most competitive bowler is in our number 3 position. That is Tish Johnson. Already she has won 22 national championships, but she wants to be the number 1 person when it comes to the all-time career titles list.
She sure does. It would be her 2nd title this year if she wins tonight, but more important, as you mentioned, she wants that top spot. She wants to catch Alisa Seal and Lisa Wagner with 30 titles. You know, Tish led this event through 4 rounds. I think she thought it was hers, but she lost the lead yesterday. She'll come out fighting tonight.
She always does. Now, our number 2 qualifier was the 1996 and 1997 Bowler of the Year. Wendy McPherson, however, has been relatively quiet in 1998. She hasn't won a title yet.
She's been trying to recapture her success from the last 2 years. She's tried all kinds of different things. I think she's finally found the right combination. She's made 3 of our last 4 telecasts.
And our number 1 qualifier closes the bookends. It's Carolyn Doran Ballard. She's number 1. She's been on TV 5 times already in 1998, and she's looking for her 2nd title of 1998.
And for most players, that'd be a great year, but we talked about it last week. For Carolyn Doran Ballard, it's a subpar year. She's made some physical changes, came out with a new attitude, and here she is, number 1, and in her 2nd straight telecast. That just goes to show you, no matter how good you are, you have to work, make changes in order to stay competitive.
But before she can be competitive, she's got to be a spectator. She's going to be watching her younger sister, Kathy, as she takes on Jackie Mickiewicz in our opening match. It's time to bowl. The championship round finals at the Triton TKO Open are brought to you by Budweiser and Bud Light, the official beers of bowling. By MasterCard, there are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owners and operators of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. We are back at the interstate lanes, and you are looking at Jackie Mickiewicz. She is bowling against Kathy Doran. You can see the score on the page. She is down by 14 in the 5th.
That's a better shot.
Boy, did it take a turn right after you said that.
A lot of hooks. She got that one out on the lane, projected it, a little more ball speed, and it's still hooked. Now, yesterday she told us she went to more even, tamer ball. I don't know if she's with a more aggressive ball here, see how it snaps at the back end, or if it's just that there's not enough carry down on the lane yet. The lanes did change quickly, as I said, and she may be just waiting out the carry down, making subtle moves.
Now, she said something interesting as she converts that spare last night when we were talking to her. Oh, wait, there's her family. It's identify Violet and Jack Sellers. Violet on the left in the 2nd row, Jack on the right.
Yeah, and there's her grandmother, Ruth Sellers.
on the other side. So it's a family affair. Ruth, again, this is the second row you're looking at behind the first. Violet Jack and Ruth Sellers. Obviously, Sellers being Jackie Mickavich's maiden name. Her husband is Tom. Anyway, last night she said she likes tough conditions, and this week she said they were tough conditions, and that makes her happy. Why would anybody like tough conditions?
I'll get to that in just a moment. Let's look at this shot. Still high, and she's making moves, and they're not working. So right now she's a little bit puzzled. Back to the tough condition issue. Jackie's a player who stays well within her game. She doesn't try to do more than she thinks she can do. She likes tough conditions because she feels she can be fairly accurate. She can pick up her spares. She doesn't try to overhook the lane when the conditions call for it. And also, I think personally, that her mental outlook, her attitude, she's very calm. You never know if she's striking or missing a spare. You never know. And that's a key on a tough condition, not to get frustrated and stay calm.
Well, both of our bowlers have marked in every frame, but Kathy Doran's story's a little bit different. She has 3 strikes and a spare, summing up her first 4 frames. She's working on a 2-bagger, going for the turkey in 5. She said she made some moves when we spoke with her last night.
Well, she moved actually from the 8th position all the way up to 5th to make the show. And here's a look at where they stood going into position round with 1 game left.
Oh, this was so critical, too, because she was in 8th position, and she thought, her competition was going to be Debbie McMullen or Anne-Marie Dugan. It turned out she leapfrogged over everybody, bumped out Yvette Smith, and well, as you can see, she's on television today. But I'm happy to say Anne-Marie Dugan sitting next to me keeping score. God bless her.
And Debbie McMullen and Yvette Smith, great week. Good tournament.
That's 3 for Kathy Doran as Jackie Mickavic still is trying to figure things out. I would like to mention for Jackie Mickavic, as we look at Kathy Doran, that she bowled with Linda Kelly, Mandy Wilson, Ginger Vogelsang, and Angie Kreitzer in that World Team Challenge Grand Slam when they defeated Japan and Team USA in the final.
Ooh, that was a good shot, though. Finally in the pocket. Of course, you leave a 10-pin when you finally get to the pocket, but that's good. That'll help her.
You saw the smile, too.
Yeah, she found the pocket, and that's great. She got that way farther right, coming in hard. I think she was afraid to trust it that far right because we did have a lot of conditioner toward the outer part of the lane, but that came ripping back.
Once again, no problem with the conversion. We had spoken earlier about her changing that first step. We asked her about what she's doing to change her timing.
Well, I continually struggle with my timing, so last week I bowled pretty bad as far as my timing went. So on the couple days off, I went home and just by chance switched my feet around as if I'm a 5-step player, as if I were a 4-step player. It distributed my weight a little better and seemed to help get me started the right way, and then I was fine.
She is still looking for the solution on lane 33, 33 and 34 being our television pair.
Okay, there she talked about that timing. We talked about how she changed her footwork, but she does not appear to be doing that tonight. And again, I don't know if she doesn't realize how big her first step is right now.
We're in Rossford, Ohio, and Jackie Mickavic converts another spare. Some things never change. Our coverage of the Triton TKO Open will continue in just a moment. We are back, and these people are applauding because Kathy Doran has a 4-bagger as she heads into the 7th. She is up by 43 pins over Jackie Mickavic in our opening match here at the Triton Track TKO Open. Make it 5.
Wow, she looks great. I mean, she's making really good shots right now. It's kind of funny because this was a show that Kathy really didn't expect to make. There's so many times when she's been up there and fallen out towards the end. This week, she really wasn't in. She was in 3rd after the first round, I think, but not in it. And all of a sudden, here she is. And that's what happens in a low-scoring environment. Positions change quickly.
because she shot spares all week, was working on the spares, She's only needed one spare tonight. I don't want to say she wasted her time, but...
Well, the night's not over, and without that work, she probably wouldn't be here.
Kathy Dorn just trying to stay focused on her game as Jackie Mickiewicz tries to figure things out, down by 63 points. A very, very light touch. Looks like it went into the pocket, but just didn't have enough oomph.
Well, Jackie just does not have a good shot right now. That ball is a little too drastic. She's getting a lot of over-under. See it from down low. See how it came in very light. Barely touched the head pin. The 4-pin almost took out the 2, but now she has a tough spare.
Oh, I thought she had that. That was beautifully done. And for the first time, Jackie Mickiewicz has not converted a spare after 7 in a row. Still looking for her first strike. Doesn't get much closer than this.
Great shot at it. Touching the 2-pin. Look at it slide over. Right in front of the 10. Now, normally it would kick back out and hit it, but not to be, and Jackie just not getting a lot of breaks right here.
She's on lane 33. And strikes just aren't meant to be for this woman tonight.
No, but she made the show.
That's right.
She's doing well. Jackie always struggling with the issue of should I be out here, should I be home? She wants to be home with her husband, but she loves bowling.
You know, last year she made the television show 3 times. This year, with a handful of events remaining, she's already been on TV 3 times. Last year she made $42,000. This year she's at $33,000. So she should do a little better than she did last year. And certainly should be very pleased with her performance this week here in Rossford, Ohio. She finishes 5th with $2,800 added to her career earnings.
And if Kathy continues to take this off the sheet, she could shoot 280.
Ouch.
Coming up a little higher.
So Kathy Dorn climbs the ladder. Her next opponent will be Tish Johnson. Kathy Dorn and Tish Johnson, our next match as the Triton Track TKO Open continues. The final score was 237 to 172 as Kathy Dorn ousted Jackie Mickiewicz in our opening match. She climbs the ladder and now faces Tish Johnson. Tish Johnson is a number 3 seed, has opted to sit down, and she said, Kathy, you're bowling first.
She wants Kathy to have the pressure on her if she has to win the match. I tell you, Kathy looks tough, though, tonight. She was tough in her last TV appearance. She's been getting better and better, more comfortable on television with every appearance.
You saw the high-low story, and this is not how she wants to open against Tish Johnson. You never want to leave a crack, an opportunity for someone like Tish to take advantage. She must convert here.
A little left to target, probably a little slow after the break. Leaving a Greek church. She's going to go for the 3 pins. Oftentimes you'll get lucky and shoot a pin across and get 4 of the pins, which is great for pin count. Very rarely picked up.
Gave it a good effort. A conversion was not in the cards. Tish Johnson steps up for the first time. She's 5'9", 36 years old, hails from Northridge, California. Although I don't know for how long. She's trying to sell her home in Northridge. This is her 84th career appearance. She's the only lefty in our stepladder finals.
Playing an extreme outside line. Pretty straight up the boards, but that one breaking too hard. She'll probably experience the same type of things, getting a little bit of carry down. Well, Tish has worked on a few things with her approach, pushing up and out in her push away, and also in looking farther down the lane. She was trying to push up a little bit, but dropping that real early. 4-step approach, had high backswing right here. Getting it a little bit higher all the time, creating some speed. Look at that follow through to the left. Really pushes off with that index finger.
And on her second shot on lane 33, she bowled a strike. As Kathy Dorn gets ready, we'll take a look at that strike.
Straight up about the 5th board. A little bit left of that. Dead flush.
Kathy Doran had the open frame in the beginning. The Greek Church didn't rattle her one bit. She steps up in the second frame and clears the deck.
Well, I can tell you had mentioned how she practiced on the tighter lanes, out at Star Lanes in Sandusky. She's worked on squaring up. Kathy's tendencies were to miss right before in the front part of the lane. She worked hard at being able to play up the lane because she feels her carry's much better. She can get right and play a good angle into the pocket. And she's had a lot of success this week at that. Really playing direct, and that is going to help her on a lot of conditions.
Two in a row. Kathy Doran settles in after the open frame. And Tish Johnson, our number 3 qualifier, is up on lane 34. Spare and a strike. And it's 2 in a row for Tish Johnson as these two ladies match each other shot for shot. Let's take a look at some other finishers. Yvette Smith, 203 average for her, but she finishes 9th because her match play record was 12-12.
In 10th, Carol Giannotti Block. She's continuing to dominate. It's her 13th top 10 finish out of 18 events.
Here's Tish now with a 12-pin lead.
That one was left off her hand. I wasn't even sure if it would get back far enough to get to the head pin. She knew it. Watch her send this one left. All the way out, about the second board, still sliding. She caught some conditioner down the lane. Covers the spare nicely. She hooks the ball across at the spare, and a lot of players chose to do that this week.
Strike. 2 strikes sandwiched by 2 spares for the first 4 frames for Tish Johnson as Kathy Doran has 2 in a row. And it's a turkey for Kathy Doran. Now the PWBA travels to Pittsburgh for the Storm 3 Rivers Open on Saturday, October 3rd through the 8th. Pro-Ams begin Saturday, October 3rd. And for more information, call 412-882-5557. And after our letter to Ask the Pro, you can see how much fun those Pro-Ams are. And you learn a lot.
You do, and we all have a great time, and we're willing to help people out if they want some advice and some tips. And we like to meet people early on in the week. Maybe they'll come back and root for us throughout the week.
It's not a maybe. They do, Jan. Oh, I don't believe this. What? Oh, I'd rather be lucky than good, huh?
Oh.
Whoa.
Well,
whoa.
I think she's both good and lucky. She said flip immediately when she threw this ball, knew she didn't catch it. Look at it slide. Now, this barely touched the head pin off the wall, and look at this.
Wow. This is Tish Johnson's shot on 34. Now, after that pinfall, Kathy Doran really let the wind out of her sails. Watch this. She says yes, but oh boy, she went with a sigh of relief. And it's 2 spares in a row for Tish Johnson in the 5th and 6th. Crossing over to 33.
Well, I think she knows that Kathy's lined up and things maybe are going to go Kathy's way. Tish needs to start striking now.
You saw her TV pair average 221 plus. She went from being 12 pins up to being 12 pins down, but she's not giving up. We will continue with Kathy Doran versus Tish Johnson here at the Triton Track TKO Open in Rossford, Ohio. It's 4 in a row for Kathy Doran. She now leads by 12 in the 6th frame. This is our 2nd match here at Interstate Lanes.
She needs it in there, Triton. Kind of a soft 10-pin, 6-pin laid in the channel. The last time she shot, we had gone away at the end of the match. She left a 6-pin on this lane or a 10-pin, and she slipped on the corner going to shoot the spare and missed it. So she's going to have to be cautious of her footwork here on the corner of the approach.
And that explains why she finished with a 230-something instead of a 260 or 70-something, because she had that open frame.
Exactly, and as you move across approaches, you get a little different feel in different places that you slide, and if you're not ready for it, sometimes it catches you by surprise. You talked about Kathy working on her spares, and I don't know if everyone realizes it, but in match play, we get an hour of warm-up on the pairs we're not using ahead of time. And Kathy came over and said, normally we reset the spares, and Kathy said, I will shoot everyone's spares. And she practiced spares for nearly an hour.
He's back on track on lane 33 as Tish Johnson steps up.
After missing last shot on this lane, she comes in really high flush on this.
Tish has a strike and leaves herself some trouble.
Oh, boy. Jumping high, 4, 6, 7, 10 are virtually impossible. You'll never see it made. As soon as I say never, it's going to happen, but I'm glad you said that.
22 career titles, leads in virtually every category statistically, are among the leaders. What's left in her career? She told us.
Well, I have 22 titles, so I'd like to hit 31 if possible, and hopefully that will stand. I also like to be leading money winner for all time. That's what I always like to do, be the best at what I do.
She is competitive, and she is that.
Coming up high now again, leaving the 2-4.
That's the second time she's left the 2-4. She did that in the opening frame.
Career earnings, $859,000, about $100,000 off the pace of Alita Sill, who's trying to reach that $1 million mark this year.
And she's about one win away from doing that. Had she won here, she would have set the $1 million mark. Picks up the spare in the 8th frame. It is now the 8th frame for Kathy Dorn, who had a strike in the 7th. Well, she tells it to get in, and it does.
It does, and she has great pin carry today. She's mixing the light. She's tripping 4s on the high hits. She has some really good pin carry, and that's what it takes. She's playing the right angle, and that's exactly what she talked about. If she could square up, her carry would be better.
Maximum score would be 257. In the opening match, she had 4 strikes on lane 33, and she had 4 strikes on lane 34, so she's playing the pair perfectly. Another 3-bagger for Kathy Doran.
I'm just amazed at how the pins are falling. I mean, she has a wide pocket. And, that means she can almost hit anywhere in the pocket to carry.
212 if she punches out. And that's not going to happen. And it's interesting how Kathy Doran has dialed in these lanes. But Jackie Mickiewicz and Tish Johnson are still searching for the right place.
Well, that's how lane conditions change, and that's how they were this week. Tough. You might find a pair you could score on, but others you couldn't.
Oh.
And like I said, Tish dominated this event for 2 days, 4 rounds. Came in yesterday. Conditions were different for her, as they were for everyone. And she really struggled yesterday, but hung on to make the show in 3rd position. And she appears to have the same tough conditions she had yesterday.
Jackie Mickiewicz bowled a strike in the 10th frame. It was her first strike in the opening round. She just spared every frame prior to that. Had 1 open frame, but then finally got a strike in the 10th. Now, Tish Johnson did have a couple of strikes, 2nd and 3rd, had another strike in the 6th, and now has one here in the 10th. Take that, too. What was that song? Too Much, Too Little, Too Late.
Yeah, that was it, and that is it.
She will finish fourth with $3,200.
Well, these are the scores I was expecting to see from everyone. Kathy is really surprising in how she's found a good shot on the lanes, really, and she's making really good shots.
So Tish Johnson will retire. Kathy Doran moves up the ladder. But first, when we come back, we're going to have a visit with the Clydesdale horses. We are back in Rossford, Ohio, and this is it. Wendy McPherson against Carolyn Doran. It is actually McPherson-Papanos against Doran Ballard, two married ladies going toe-to-toe in the championship match here at the Triton TKO Open. Carolyn Doran Ballard, number 1 seed, opts to go first.
She obviously likes lane 34. She'll finish there.
Good kick. Great way to start things off in the championship match. Waiting in the wings, watching her sister. Now it's her chance to step up to the plate. Wendy McPherson, meanwhile, opened with a 248 against Kathy Doran, defeating her 248 to 212. And now she'd like to oust her sister Carolyn.
Well, Wendy told us that on some pairs she played to strike, and some pairs she played for 9. This was obviously a pair she's going to play to strike on.
I think we've got ourselves a bowling match here. Let's take a look at the career earnings leaders. Alita Sill sitting on top, very close to the $1 million mark. Two of our bowlers this evening, Tish Johnson and Wendy McPherson, among the top 5. And sitting next to me is Anne-Marie Dugan. And in our truck doing stats is the number 3 person, Lisa Wagner. So we're surrounded by some wealthy women.
It's not rubbing off, is it?
You bought my dinner last night. You tell me. Uh-oh, that one. Ooh, you saw that right from the beginning. She's smiling because at least it came back that much.
She missed way right on this one. Happy to have knocked out the 10, so she doesn't have a washout. The ball's not coming back. There's no way out there. Conditioner on the outer portion of the lane. She's going to shoot at this with her spare ball. This is not an easy spare either.
She makes it look easy, though, and Wendy McPherson marks in the second frame, coming off a strike in the opener. Carolyn Doran Ballard, meanwhile. That's her husband, Del Ballard. You know, it's funny, I was talking to him. He's injured. He's injured his thumb, and he's starting to bowl again and rehab it. And he said in the morning, first thing, he has to, like, click it. It makes this crunch sound, and then he's fine for the rest of the day.
Oh, well, thanks.
Doesn't really sound good.
Yeah, I really want to think about that.
I think it's time for me to crunch my thumb and start my day.
Slowly, here.
A little bit light there, leaving the 7. Not fortunate to carry that light hit. Kathy was able to carry that.
Average for the week, just over 209.
She's going to change balls to shoot at the 7 pin so she can shoot straight across the lane at it.
Right at it.
Now, Carolyn has a 5-step approach, and she's changed her starting position of her feet. She's even now with her feet. Sometimes we'll slant the right foot back. There's about a shoulder-high backswing right there. Look at the balance. Look at the left arm out to keep good balance, and look at this finish position. Very strong, good knee bend. Very strong follow-through also.
Again, stand stuck.
Now that was a good shot. Blew the pins across. Yeah, didn't take out the 7. She's staying pretty closed. That's why she's starting with her feet side by side. When she tries to open more, she brings it back. Look at this. Head pin blown off the wall. 5 pins straight across. That 5 pin should have taken it out, but it didn't.
And her 5th TV appearance has her opening with a strike and 2 spares in the championship match against Wendy McPherson. This match is even. I guess it's -1 at this point, technically. A strike and a spare for McPherson. Let's see what she does here in the 3rd. And she starts a string. I'd like to remind you to be sure to be with us next Friday morning for the championship round finals of the Columbia 300 Delaware Open. Can Wendy McPherson repeat as champion? Join us from Bolorama, Newcastle, Delaware for the action. She might be a back-to-back champion if she pulls it off here.
Well, she regrouped from that bad shot with the shot right in the pocket.
There's two.
9-pin going down awfully late on that shot. Ball drove hard. Actually drove past the 9-pin, no deflection, almost past, just kick out the 9-pin there.
That one came up high. Oh. Didn't really help her cause. The 7 had fallen. It would have been nice, but it was a 10.
Well, coming up high, and she may go for this. I don't really know. That's a choice she can only make right now. She's going to go for the 1 pin or go for the spare.
That's it. Missed him.
She's going for the spare, and it makes sense. That was a logical choice because she knows Wendy's lined up. She can give away 1 pin, trying to get 10 back if she picks up the spare. Well, we talked about it being a year of changes for Carolyn. Made some game changes, attitude changes. She wanted to thank Brian Purcell from Ebonite for always being there to pick her up, and David Garber for all of his help. Also Del for his help and for letting her do things on her own and learning to refocus on her own.
And that was interesting. She said she wanted to become more self-reliant.
Come on now.
Went to the bowling center, worked on her game by herself. Easily could have used a great resource in Del Ballard, but said, no, I've got to figure this out for myself so that when the chips are down, she can rely on herself. So
Del's here now supporting her and talking about Carolyn Dorn-Ballard. And it's tough sometimes, though. You have to be able to do it yourself because you don't always have someone with you.
That's right. Don't want a crutch. Seven stays up for her, as it did earlier for Carolyn.
Pretty light. Fortunate, really, to just have a 7-pin. 10-pin went down a little late. But she definitely is lined up to the pocket.
And she converts there. League bowlers, don't forget to sign up for the Bud Frame and a chance to go to the International Bowling Museum and Hall of Fame. Enter at your local bowling center, and for more information, call the PWBA in area code 815-332-5756.
Wendy up by 24. Halfway through, though. Still a close match.
Very close, but Wendy McPherson would like to widen the gap. 24 pins now, but it's not resolved. We'll wrap things up between Carolyn Dorn-Ballard and Wendy McPherson, but first we have these messages from our sponsors. We are back. You are looking at Carolyn Dorn-Ballard. She's stepping up in the 6th frame. Had a strike in the 5th. This was not her best pair throughout this 40-lane house. Her average on this pair was only 180.
That's true, but a different day. They're reconditioned.
Sure.
The lanes are reconditioned each day. In fact, Tish Johnson had the highest average on this pair, 221, and really had no shot today.
This time it is the 10 that stays up.
She needs to start stringing them together, put a little pressure back on Wendy.
You can see Del Ballard shaking his head. Part of her philosophy was not only self-reliance, but also to develop a game plan. We asked her what her game plan was this week.
My game plan this week is going to be my game plan for tonight. I came out, I thought long and hard before I came into the bowling center. I picked 8 balls that I thought would work, changed the surfaces a little bit, stuck with those 8 balls, never walked back into the paddock, and here I am today, and hopefully that'll work tonight. I made it simple, and it worked.
Simple was the key this week. Wanted something with low flare, something that would stay in even reaction on the lane.
That looked like a good shot, just didn't carry that 10.
It did, and unfortunately, when you're going with simple, sometimes you don't carry quite as well. ball looks like a good shot, but hit in half pockets. The other 6 pin just laid down in the channel.
The deficit swells to 25 for Carolyn Doran Ballard in her match against Wendy McPherson, who is up now in the 7th frame. And Wendy McPherson hasn't exactly been able to string them together either, so this is far from over, but we are running out of frames for Carolyn Doran Ballard. For Wendy McPherson, her first title of the year is getting closer. Maximum score 259 if she goes off the page. Step 1.
Wow, that ball is just driving so hard. There's definitely no chance for anything to stand on this shot. Real aggressive. Watch it break through the pins. Everything stayed low while the pins stayed low on the deck. I probably have never seen Wendy look this confident or aggressive on a television show.
Now, match play, they've met before, 229 to 180, the score. That's a turkey for Wendy McPherson. Putting them together in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Carolyn Doran Ballard, meanwhile, steps up in the 8th, looking at a maximum score of 214, coming off a spare in the 7th. There. Finally gets the 10 to drop after leaving it there twice.
Well, she needs them all. The best she could do is 214 here. She's asking for a re-rack on lane 33. And really, we're almost in the same situation as it was with Kathy Doran. If Carolyn goes off the sheet, Wendy would really just need a mark in one of the last 2 frames.
She had to have it, and she got it. And Wendy McPherson has not had an open frame yet in this match. She had a spare in the 2nd and a spare in the 5th. Other than that, it's been all strikes.
Well, I think Wendy McPherson is not relying on luck tonight. I think she's going after it and saying, I'm not going to feel sorry for myself and hope I get lucky. I'm going for it.
7 stays up for her.
Okay, light hits on 34, not going down this game for either player. If she spares here, she will need good pin count.
She steadily is making things easy for herself. She won each tournament in which she qualified 2nd. Interesting. That has happened 4 times. Looks like that string is going to continue, barring a disaster here.
She really needs 9 on her first ball, though, to shut out Carolyn Doran Ballard. Anything less, we could end up with a tie if she didn't spare.
Whoa.
And
that 7-pin falling was a lot bigger, I think. As she's looking at it now and saying, yes, that was a big shot.
That was huge. Watch the 7-pin. Look at the head pin. Off the wall, the head pin danced back and took it out. Look at that. It looked like a pocket 710. Would have been a horrible break.
So Wendy McPherson on her way to collecting her first title. Carolyn Doran Ballard.
One break, one time. And I'm sure she's sitting there thinking, you know, when she bowled against Kim Adler back in the summer, she stood up and left that pocket 710 to lose that match. And I'm sure she's thinking, you know, why doesn't that happen to me when I'm here?
It's a 227 for Wendy McPherson. Carolyn Dorn Ballard has to finish things up here in the 10th frame. Again, her maximum score is a 214.
Imagine that.
Well,
I get 9 every other shot.
9 every other shot. Well, she said she's being pleased with the little things, making good shots, making good choices. It'll have to tide her over.
So Carolyn Dorn Ballard finishes in second place, but our champion this day is Wendy McPherson Papanos of Henderson, Nevada, claiming her first title of 1998 on the heels of being Bowler of the Year.
You are looking at the champion of the Triton TKO Open, Wendy McPherson. Congratulations to you. A fine job. And this is a familiar place for our 1996 and 1997 Bowler of the Year.
Well, thank you, Leandra. To be honest with you, I'm a little caught up for words. I was just amazed that I bowled that well this evening. Bowling hasn't been too good for me on TV lately, and I'm just ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic.
Well, you should be, and I think I have something here that will make you really ecstatic. This is Sue Pinsky. She's a general manager, and she has a presentation.
Wendy, on behalf of Interstate Lanes, I'd like to present you with your bouquet, and, of course, $11,000 check.
Oh, wonderful.
Congratulations, and many, many more.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And now it is time for Phil Cardinale. He is the president of Track Incorporated. In addition to a check, you get a trophy.
Well, Wendy, here's our Triton TKO trophy as a little memento for you, as a sort of a remembrance to years from now how you knocked out the competition this week. And Track is very proud to have you join the list of champions. You know, Carol Giannotti won last year, and you continue the line of great champions.
Thank you.
So we're proud to have you as one of the champions of the track tournament.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm absolutely honored. First off, you know, Sue Penske here at Interstate Lanes has been such a big supporter of our tour and keeps having us come back. All of you who come out and watch us daily, thank you very, very much for that. Also, I'd like to thank Phil Cardinale, absolutely a top-notch guy who supports our tour along with Track, and I think that deserves a round of applause for him and his support of our tour. Thank you.
And now let's bring in our Jan Schmidt. Jan, I know you have a question for Wendy.
I do. Wendy, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think that was the most aggressive and the best that I have ever seen you bowl on television. What was going on in your mind today?
I wasn't scared to lose today. Normally I get out there and I'm scared to death of what might happen. And all of a sudden I had really good ball reaction, and I thought, wow, I'm just going to go with the flow. I didn't have that at all in practice, and I'd like to thank Don Mose for working so hard and making sure I had a great ball, Nighthawk, to throw this evening. And I just all of a sudden got into the groove, and I remembered the old days of when I used to get out there and just bowl and have a good time. So that's what I tried to do.
Well, you said that before, that sometimes you've had to remember how to win or relearn how to win. Now, Rockford was very disappointing for you. How did you regroup from that?
It was one of the lowest points of my career. I was absolutely devastated. It took me a while to get over it. You know, I think now I have even more determination to win. I try to focus on what I did do wrong. I haven't seen the show yet. I'll never watch that show, but I remember it very vividly in my mind, and I knew where I went wrong, and so I really tried to focus not to do that again.
So Wendy McPherson, congratulations. She eliminated Kathy Dorn and then Carolyn Dorn Ballard. Needless to say, they're not thinking kindly of you this evening, but everyone in bowling certainly admires your performance here tonight. Congratulations to you. For Jan Schmidt, I'm Leandra Riley. Once again, congratulating Wendy McPherson, our winner at the Interstate Lanes in Rockford, Ohio.